All right, greetings everyone. How are you today? Hopefully you're doing well, and hopefully you can see my screen. If you can't, please speak up. But I'd like to welcome everybody to the second annual Transportation Asset and Infrastructure Management Conference. This follows on with the first annual one that we did approximately at this time last year at the Penn State Conference Center Hotel. We certainly wish we could be with you in person, but certainly appreciate your willingness to join us remotely in this first ever virtual version of the conference. So just as a way of some very quick background, what really has motivated the Infrastructure Asset Management Conference is there's a lot of good information, a bit of published data nationally about the infrastructure and the score, the report card of the infrastructure from the American Society of Civil Engineers. And so when a group of universities in the Mid-Atlantic region got together to pursue a university transportation center, we did some studying of various state-level report cards and found that within the Mid-Atlantic region, which is Region 3, consisting of Delaware, West Virginia, Maryland, the District of Columbia, and Pennsylvania, we found that there were 57,000 bridges that are within these report cards and the scores, and approximately 19% were structurally deficient. There are more than 320,000 miles of publicly owned roadways. About 24% of those were considered in poor condition. And then there were some economics associated with the infrastructure and the quality of the infrastructure. And we thought that an asset management type of focus of a transportation center would be something that would be perhaps of value in the Mid-Atlantic region. So what we did is we partnered with George Mason University in Virginia, Lehigh University in Eastern Pennsylvania, Morgan State in Maryland, University of Delaware, Virginia Tech in West Virginia, to pursue an integrated asset management focused university transportation center. And the vision of the center is to work through a series of activities with regards to research, education, and outreach that would enable agencies, public agencies in the region to invest in infrastructure needs when and where they're most critically needed. And then hopefully this would lead to agencies who could deliver enhanced, safe, and cost-effective infrastructure asset management while gaining the most benefit from their limited resources. So the center that we have, and one of the critical elements of putting this all together was to kind of focus on three programmatic thrust areas with regards to research, education, and outreach activities, and they're shown here. The first one is the application of innovative materials and technologies and trying to deploy new materials and technologies to help with the infrastructure and managing the infrastructure and improving the service life of the infrastructure. And then once we have some of those new materials and technologies into place, be able to use automated remote access, remote controlled inspection, and other novel techniques to assess the infrastructure and monitor the health of the infrastructure moving forward. And then once we have a better handle on the state of the infrastructure, be able to better manage it using decision-making tools through considering these multiple objectives that we have to consider when we're making investments in our infrastructure, and then also consider innovative financing as strategies to invest. And so the purpose of our conference is to bring together researchers, practitioners, contractors, material suppliers, and have this forum where we can talk about and discuss, the state of the art, the state of the practice with regards to transportation infrastructure asset management. And our goal is to try to focus as many of the themes and the workshops on the three thematic areas that make up the center here in the Mid-Atlantic region. And the other goal that we had then was to provide a forum or an opportunity for professionals to receive professional development hours or continuing education units. So a brief overview of the conference is this afternoon. We're going to have a couple of workshops that will be run back to back. So we'll start with an Asset Management 101, which is an introduction to transportation infrastructure asset management. There will be a lot of key concepts discussed. There will be some examples discussed. And I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge Sue McNeil from the University of Delaware and Justin Bruner from PennDOT and Meredith Hill from Maryland for the time and the effort that they've put into developing and delivering this workshop. It's something that we started with last year in our first annual event. And it went really, really well. And I think the examples that Justin and Meredith can offer, hopefully, will be extremely useful to those that are interested in infrastructure asset management. Then we'll take a little bit of a break here in the middle of the afternoon, and then we'll move into a new workshop that Simon Lewis and Bob Peskin were kind enough to develop. Both of those gentlemen are from AECOM, and they'll build on that first one by offering some key field issues that they've experienced in their careers, talk about data and modeling and technology choices to manage infrastructure within public agencies. I'll come back to this part of the program tomorrow. So we have another set of full sort of concurrent sessions tomorrow, starting right before the lunch hour. And we're really thrilled that Leslie Richards, the general manager of SEPTA, will be making our keynote remarks right before the lunch hour between about 11:30 and 11:45. And we'll review tomorrow's program, but there are a set of concurrent sessions happening tomorrow. And then on Wednesday in the afternoon, again, we'll have a series of concurrent sessions. One thing I did want to point out for those that are interested is a lot of the research that's happening within our center here within the Mid-Atlantic region. We're going to have a series of short graduate student presentations between 11 and noontime on Wednesday. And this can showcase a lot of the real state-of-the-art that's happening within the consortium of the 7 schools that were featured earlier in this presentation. So with that, I would like to just say a couple of quick thanks to all who made this virtual event possible. We started planning for this, I would say, in about April. Our steering committee consists of about 24 individuals representing federal, state transportation agencies, as well as the private sector and academia. And we owe them a lot of thanks and gratitude for the time that they've spent working with us several times over the last few months and trying to pull this virtual conference off. And we're very grateful for all the effort that they've poured into it. And we'd like to thank those from Penn State's conferences and institutes for their hard work in pulling this off as well. Corinna Fisher, who's with us today, Michelle Robinson, and Melissa Small. So we thank them for all of their hard work. If you experience any technical difficulties or have any questions over the course of today or tomorrow or Wednesday, if you're able to join us for all 3 afternoons, this email site will be monitored, taim@psu.edu regularly, and we'll do our best to troubleshoot issues as they arise. And with that, I would like to say thanks so much to all of you for your participation. It's very much appreciated, and we really hope that you enjoy the conference. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Corinna to do a quick virtual demo of the Excel events site to help all of you navigate. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks everybody for joining. I know that our next session is about to start, so I will keep this really brief and just say feel free to click around in the virtual conference. There are links on the left-hand side of your screen, and there's a chat on the right-hand side. Feel free to use both. Email taim@psu.edu with any questions, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So we're going to stop this broadcast and let you go over to Workshop 101 now. Thank you, and we'll see you around.